All right, how's everybody doing tonight? Okay? Should have a pin up there. I'll write on the board. Alrighty, here we go. Week 3. All right. Tutorial 2, editing and formatting a document. That's what we're going to go over tonight in the tutorial discussion. In-class exercise. I'll discuss that in a second. We do have week 3 tutorial 2 quiz opened as well. I do want to not forget to mention I've not changed the due dates, even though they are. We talked about last week. They've not been changed in Eagle. I will get that done, hopefully in the next 24 hours. So if you didn't turn yours in or you just turned yours in today, it's not late, even though it says it's due on Sunday. I'm going to change that. So the quiz, as always, you'll have 3 opportunities to take it. Best score out of the 3 chances. The in-class exercise we'll do after the tutorial 2 discussion and exercise. As always, if you're comfortable and you want to finish your homework at home, you may do so. But we will go over your homework after the tutorial 2 before we start the in-class exercise. That way folks want to leave after the in-class exercise, or after your in-class exercise is finished, you may do so. Inside of the in-class exercise, there is, just so you know, a beginning document to start with. You'll follow some instructions here. In fact, all the instructions should actually be on this page here for you. It says on the pages exercise 9 through 11, but you can just follow instructions here and submit it when you're finished. The week 3, you'll complete this Word project 2-1, creating a flyer. Here's a solution file, complete a solution file. I do recommend on anything within Eagle to use either Firefox or Chrome web browser. It works better than IE, just compatibility wise. I had some issues tonight with using IE, so that's normal. So I do recommend Firefox and Chrome at home both. There will be some funky stuff with Chrome I found, so Firefox is probably your safest bet. I like Chrome, but Firefox is a little bit safer, a little more stable, I guess, than Chrome is. General web browsing, you're fine with Chrome, but if you're going on to any website where you're having to download files or do any type of file manipulation or uploading, downloading files, Firefox works better. Just so you know, in IE and Internet Explorer, it'll give you the toolbar at the top every time you try to download a file. And if you don't see that, you don't know it's trying to download a file. And so Firefox will not give you that, neither will Chrome. It'll prompt you if something's trying to download, but at least it's right in your face and you see it. And when you finish with this one, you'll submit it below as always for week 3. And again, everything's due that I've talked about here so far. The quiz and the Word 2-1 project is due next Wednesday. This folder here is just files needed for linking purposes. There is a Word 2010 document here. Let me open that up to show you real quick. This just gives some features of Word 2010. Just an added document to show you some stuff you can do in Word 2010. Everything else that's in that folder you really aren't going to need to click on in that files folder, even though I'll let you guys open it up and see it. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started with the Word Tutorial 2 PowerPoint. And go ahead and start up a new version of Office, just as always. So we'll kind of be going over some concepts here as we go over the PowerPoint on the overhead. As soon as you open up your Word document, you can go ahead and do a Control S and save it as your first initial last name onto your desktop, as we always do. And remember, when you're saving the file on your desktop, on your computer is there. When you do a Control S, it's going to be on Favorites on the left side and Desktop, and then name it below with first initial last name. I'll do it on the overhead as well, so you can kind of do it with me here. I'm firing up Office and going to Microsoft Word. I'm going to do a Control S. For file name, I'm going to type in ccontrol. On the left side here, I'm clicking on Favorites, then Desktop. And make sure you double click on the desktop icon. That way it really actually goes to, it should say Desktop up here where my mouse is pointing at. It should say Desktop. So make sure it says Desktop. You've got your first initial last name and click Save. Okay, formatting. Fun stuff with Word this week. Formatting with Word is can be a lot of fun. It can be, you know, a little bit of a learning curve this week, possibly for some of you, but for the most part, it's fairly intuitive, and I want you to have fun with it, as always, with this tutorial as well. The first thing we're going to do tonight is show you how to create a custom bullet here in just a second with a picture. You'll go to the web, download an image, and you'll create a bullet from that image. This could be used for a company that wants to create bullets with their logo. There's a popular use of it. Moving text within a document, finding and replacing text, checking spelling and grammar, formatting documents, themes, and styles. Also look at some of the built-in MLA style items within Word. How to indent paragraphs, insert and modify page numbers, create citations and bibliography. So an overview here of this screen basically just goes over some of the areas, specifically the paragraph area on the Home tab is the formatting that we'll start with tonight. Specifically the bullets, creating a number list, bullets, a number list, navigation, elements, text that you might format, square bullets, which is we won't do tonight, but you can make square bullets. And then down here in the bottom left is how many pages you're on and how many words are in the total document. On the right side, starting on the styles area, this is where you can highlight a section of your text and click on a style. You can open and find something there on the right side by clicking on the find. Looks like binoculars, and type in a word or phrase, word or words, and it'll find it in your document. And then the More button in the styles area gives you just more styles to choose from. And we've already talked about this last week, the hide items, one being the paragraph item here. And the paragraph item allows you to either show or hide that paragraph item. And I believe I told you last week that if those are showing, they won't print. They're invisible to the printer. They're just visible to your monitor. Does that make sense? So when you print them out, it's not going to show up. And then down here it talks about a search term. When you say you did search for the term elements, it's going to highlight those words in the document with a yellow background. so you'll know what they look like or where they're at on that page, which is a nice feature. So before revising a document, you need to familiarize yourself with the entire document and the edits to be made. Now, I think I told you this last week. Don't worry about formatting as you're typing a document, whatever document it might be, whether it be a research paper. What I always tell students to do with the advent of the web, a lot of the data you can basically get from the web anymore. Some instructors don't want you to do that, but if you do that, they want you to attribute where you found that information. But even, Encyclopedia Britannica no longer has hardback cover. It's all online or digitized. And then, I don't know if you guys remember way back when, it wasn't too long ago. I mean, you could buy the whole volume of those. You can't even find them. I mean, you can find them in a garage sale, but you can't buy them anymore hard copy because it's all digitized. Yeah, I've got some old Encyclopedia Britannicas myself, and I still use them a little bit. But yeah, everything's online, everything's digitized. And so a lot of the stuff you guys will find will be digitized. It'll be in, on the internet or on the library index. And you'll gather your data, read it, consume it, and then develop your outline for your paper, flesh your outline out from your content that you've researched, line by line within your outline. And then lastly, format. But like I told you last week, you will have to force yourself not to format as you're typing whatever it might be. Okay, because human nature is we want to kind of do stuff as we go, and you'll find out I'm only on page 1, I've been on this thing for 8 hours. That's not good. It looks nice, but I haven't got really much done. Okay, so you want to make sure, put data in first, data entry first, format the very last. That's what we're talking about tonight, is formatting the very last. And then the in-class exercise, you'll actually have a document that you'll play with, and you'll format some stuff on that document. So basically, and I think I mentioned this last week about the second bullet, opening and saving the document with a new name, renaming it to something else, like I put in a date. That way you're revisioning your changes prior to starting a new whatever document. So every day you'll change it to a new name. Begin editing that new name. An easy algorithm to remember is the name of the document and the date. Preferably the date before the name. That way you can kind of sort it by date on the left side. But even if you don't name it like that, in Windows, there is a way to sort files by date created. And that way you could do it that way as well to figure out what document was created when. So I'd recommend doing that. That way, if you guys make a mistake, you can go back to the prior version. So bullets. Bullets allow you to emphasize a list of some type. It makes things easier to read. And you've got regular circle bullets, square bullets, shape bullets. And what we're going to learn in a second, you can take an image and convert it to a bullet, to a numbered list. And the bullets and numbering list is found in that paragraph section on the Home tab. So I think I had you download your favorite animal last week. Let's do this for something different. Let's have you download your favorite food, whatever that might be. I don't care. It might be a hot dog, it might be pizza, it might be lasagna, it might be spaghetti, I don't know. It might be chili. Whatever it is, download your favorite food to your desktop. So you'll need to go to Google Images like we did last week, find a nice picture, download it to your desktop, and I'll come around and help you, and you can help each other as well on this exercise, getting the picture downloaded. Once everybody's downloaded your picture, I will show you how to make that into a bullet. And you can help each other on this too. So if you need help, look to your neighbor and say, help. I'm going to do Chicago Dog. Oh yeah, that's a good one. And if you look on the overhead real quick, make sure you name, if it's something like mine, like mine's a Chicago dog, the name's fairly good. But if sometimes on the web when you download a picture, it'll be like all numbers or something. Just make sure you rename it to something that means that you can remember later. Okay. How's everybody doing? You getting there? Yay, no? Raise your hand if you need help. Need help? Okay. Before we make a bullet, let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and make a list real quick. We're going to go ahead and type in here grocery list. All right, and let me blow it up a little bit so you can see it. Okay, so type in grocery list, colon, hit the enter key, and I want you to type in milk, enter, bread, enter, and then whatever it was you searched for is going to type on this line. Whatever it was you searched for, I want you to type that food on this line. Mine was a Chicago dog, so I want you to type in what it is: strawberry cake, strawberry ice cream, whatever it is. So I've got grocery list, milk, bread. I have Chicago dog. You will have whatever you search for and download it as an image on number 3 list. Okay? Got that? Okay. Now let's go ahead and Control S to say what we've got so far. Okay. So what I want you to do here is, I want you to highlight milk, bread, and Chicago dog. We're going to look at the old built-in bullets, how they are right now. Once you highlight those 3 lines, we're going to go to the Home tab if you're not already there. And we're going to go to right here where my mouse is pointed to. See the little drop down to the right of the bullets? Click on that drop down. It shows you all the really fancy smancy bullets that have been around for 100 years. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and select this bullet here. And you'll notice as you hover over these bullets, it actually changes the bullet icon to the left of the list that you just highlighted. Go ahead and select one, doesn't matter which one. Okay. So that's the built-in bullets available to you from Word. Okay. Now we're going to show you how to do the custom. So go ahead and highlight those again. Same drop down we went to earlier, except this time we're going to go all the way down to the very bottom where it says define new bullet. Everybody see that? Click on that. On the top portion, there's a bullet character. It says symbol, picture, font. Click on the picture button. And here's where we're going to go down to the bottom left and click on the import button. And here's where we're going to browse out and find that image on your desktop. You're going to find it the same way you saved it. Double click on favorites, double click on desktop, and then find your image. There's my Chicago dog. I'm going to double click on my Chicago dog, whatever your image is, double click on that. So again, double click on favorites, double click on desktop, double click on your image. Once you double click on your image, it'll show up in the list available for bullets. Okay? Make sure you select that image with your mouse by clicking on it, left clicking on it once, then click OK. It should give you a preview of what it's going to look like before you click OK. Make sure it looks okay before you do. If not, you can go back and do it again. Mine looks fine. There's my 3 Chicago dogs bulleted. I'm going to click OK. And now I have now made my custom Chicago dog bullets. So let me kind of come around and see how they get. Look at your neighbors too and go, oh yeah, those are good bullets. Why would you use this for? Marketing material for companies, flyers, newsletters, just to name a couple examples. So you would use this basically for any kind of company promo, meetings, a lot of cool uses for it. One I've seen it use the most for the company logo bullets, which makes sense. And so, good job, you guys learned. Now, once you do this on per machine, it's built into that machine. So if you were to save this document, bring it home tonight, and go up, the bullets that we just imported would be gone. So it's per machine that these bullets are created on. Does that make sense? Now, you'll be able to see the bullets when you get home, we created tonight, but you wouldn't have the bullets available for you like we have here in the bullet list now because you've not imported them on that machine. Make sense? Okay. Same thing with last week. I believe we did the custom dictionary. Had you guys add some words in the custom, or a word in the custom dictionaries for that machine only. Okay. So custom bullets, pretty cool. Control S. Okay. Already went over that. Yeah. Okay, now the fun part. Moving text around the document. You select whatever text you want in a document. We'll kind of play with what we did tonight with the list. You can drag it around. You press and hold the mouse button until the drag button appears. The pointer appears where you want it to drop at, and then let go of it. You'll see in a second there'll be a dotted insertion point as you drag stuff around your document of where it's going to go before you release it. You make a mistake, what's the shortcut key to undo it? Control Z. Control V is paste, Control Z is undo, remember? So let's go ahead and do this real quick. Go to your document, your Word document. I'm going to go ahead and show you what, I'm going to move the list around a little bit. Let's try that. I'm going to move my third list to number 1, or let's do it in between number 1 and number 2. I'm going to highlight Chicago Dog. I'm going to left click and hold it and drag it. Now you see where that cursor is moving up, and you can see it looks like a dotted line. If I release it now, it's going to go right there. Release it there. So it's a little tricky. So go ahead and practice that again. Highlight any one of your lists. I highlighted the last one.
Okay.
Once you highlight it, left click and hold it. Left click and hold it. Then drag it up. Okay, and as you drag it up, you'll see the cursor, wherever you want it to go, basically, is where the cursor is going to go. If you like where it's at, you just release it. Okay? And now on a list like this, if you take it like I just did, and left click and go before the list name, it'll actually replace it and push that list down one if you do it this way. So if I highlight milk, go up before bread, release it. If you have extra bullets like I do here, we can just put my cursor on the end of the last one there and hit the delete button.
So now every time you hit it, you'll just get the picture as your bullet, right?
Yeah, it will. So you might have to correct it a little bit. But the main thing you want to learn here is the clicking and dragging. So select it, click and hold, and then drag it. Now again, I can drag it. You'll notice when I try to drag it in between any one of the letters on bread, it won't let me do it. So it will force you to drag it before or after a word. You're not going to be able to drag it in between a word. All right? And then there is some formatting things you might have to play with once you move something like I just did. So that's moving. You'll use that quite a bit in Word, and it's nice to use versus the other option, which is highlighting, copying, or basically the other option is this right here, which we're actually going to learn in a second on the PowerPoint, but I'll go ahead and jump ahead a little bit since we're here. Go ahead and highlight your third list, whichever one it is, and right-click on that list you just highlighted, that line, and select Cut, the very top option, Cut. You notice it gets rid of it, but it's still stored it in it has stored it in the system memory of the clipboard. Now I'm going to take and put my cursor before the first word in the first list to where it's blinking like mine, and do a Control V, as in Valentine, and that's going to paste what I just cut. That's the other way to do it. Now, This is nice. So say you have something on page 2, you want to move to page 1. The dragging and dropping thing will not work so high. Okay? If it's within the same vicinity, it works okay, and I've used it like within the same paragraph where it's nice, or paragraphs. Multi-page, the drag and drop thing can get pretty hairy. So it might be beneficial for you to remember if it's on another page or way far away from where you're wanting to move something, it might be beneficial to do the right-click cut, move your mouse where you want it to go, click on that area, and then Control-V to paste it. That make sense? Now, used to in the olden days, we would take and select something, copy it, delete it, then move our cursor where we want it to go, then paste it. With the advent of cut, it does that. It copies, when you cut it, it copies and deletes it from the page, and then that deletion is in the memory of the computer clipboard, Windows clipboard, to paste it wherever you want it to be pasted. Okay? So if you ever mistakenly cut something, like we just did here on purpose, just know it's still in memory. You can do a Control-Z to bring it right back, or you can do a Control-V to paste it somewhere else. Make sense? Good. So let's go back to the PowerPoint real quick. Keep continuing on. Cutting and pasting, talked about that already. You guys know all the shortcuts on that. Cutting, copying, Control-C, pasting, Control-V. Let me go back to the Word document real quick. So I don't actually use cut a lot. I think it's Control-X. Yeah, it's Control-X. Control-X is cut, even though it's not in the shortcut there. Control-X, if you want to make note of that. Do what now?
The shortcuts that you're getting us, will they be on the test too, or no? Or they just kind of were memorizing them?
Yeah, they're for your use. Yeah, so I keep them down, and I just use them all the time. Because you will use them all the time. I use them every day.
Well, they are handy.
And what's nice too is what you're learning here in Word, these same shortcuts are across the board in all the Office apps. And not only all the Office apps, but I'm a developer during the day, a Windows developer. Any Windows application I've ever created, if I need to copy and paste whatever in that application, I use the same shortcuts as Word, because that's what people are in Office, not just Word, but Excel, PowerPoint, because that's what people are used to using, and it's universal. So any good developer is going to develop software, is going to develop it with the best, or people might say the best, but the #1 selling software, Microsoft, implementing those same shortcuts on the application. And so, yeah, if you can remember those shortcuts, I mean, I don't want to age anybody in here, but I already have myself. So, I mean, when I first started with computers, we didn't have a mouse. We just had a keyboard and a DOS screen. And the first laptop I had was 75 pounds. It was literally the size of your desktop. It was huge. Just had like a little 5. I think it had a 5-inch screen. I'm sorry, monochrome 5-inch screen. But anyway, we used WordPerfect back then, and WordPerfect. All the shortcuts that WordPerfect used, basically Word uses those same shortcuts for the most part. So everything I've taught you so far, Control-C, Control-V, all the control commands have been around for a long time. So if you've been on computers for a while or used Office type of apps for a while, you've heard of these shortcuts already probably. You just don't, haven't used them maybe in a while. So.
That's when computers are as big as the wall.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yes.
Goes forward, backwards.
Go ahead.
When you highlighted your word and did the Control-X, it looked like it left your bullet. But when I highlight my word, if I right-click and go to cut, it pulls the bullet off.
It depends on where yeah, you're right. It depends on how I highlight it. If, and we've not talked about this yet, but if I double-click on bread and then do a Control-X, it will get rid of the icon, right, or the bullet. But say I try to just ever so slightly do just that, and then do Control-X. See? So if you double click the line, which we'll talk about in a second, it selects the whole line.
But you can't, since you can't highlight the bullet, it does it
Exactly, right, that's what it does. So you probably just manually did this type thing, and when you do that, it's gonna get that whole line. So, yeah, it's a good point. Okay, and we're gonna talk about that double click, single click stuff on words in just a second. So copy and pasting, the clipboard task pane, this is actually universal throughout Windows as well. So if you copy or cut something in Word and you want to paste it in PowerPoint, it's there for you. Or any other application that's a popular application you have on your computer, it should carry over that clipboard, that Windows clipboard. Because Windows clipboard is universal to all applications, okay? It's universal. Now, there will be some applications where the developer does not allow the Windows clipboard to be used, but most applications for Windows do utilize this clipboard task manager. Now it says here on bullet 4, when the clipboard task pane is open, the clipboard can store up to 24 items. Before that though, bullet 2, the clipboard task pane is open by clicking the dialog box launcher in the clipboard group on the home tab. So if everybody goes there real quick, the clipboard group on the home tab right here, it's that little box right here. And you'll notice I've got bread in there because I copied that earlier. And so as I go in here and copy other items or cut other items, I just copied milk. I'm going to highlight Chicago here and copy that. Highlight dog and copy that. Highlight list and copy that. Highlight grocery and copy that. And so it keeps up to 24 items within the clipboard list for you. Now, most of you probably knew clipboard exists, but you maybe never seen it like this where you can visually see what's in your clipboard. And that's kind of nice when you're learning anyway, to see it. And once you know it's there, because it's kind of like a security blanket to see that it does work. Once you know it's there, more than likely, you're not going to keep this clipboard up in front of you all the time, but you're going to know if you copy something, it's going into the clipboard. You're going to trust it, that Windows is going to keep it in here. But it's nice to see it just to, you know, as you're learning anyway, I think. It's a learning. I don't ever keep this open, but I think when students are first learning this, it's good to see what's happening while it's happening. And so as you're copying something, showing up in the clipboard task manager, it's kind of nice. So again, 24 items can be stored when the last item cut or copied can be found at the very top of the list. So every time you copy something or cut something, it's going to show up at the very top of the list. When you exceed 24 items, the oldest item will be deleted from the clipboard to make room for the newest. Okay. Now most of us are not going to remember 24 back. You know, maybe you can, but I can't. Generally, maybe 10, 8 to 10. I'm thinking most people can remember. Do a Control Z back 10 items, but you're not going to really, you know, for the most part, go beyond the 10, 15 probably. So 24 is more than enough for most users on a clipboard task to keep that clipboard in there for you to use. It's beyond that. That's where it's nice to go back to revisions. That way you can go back to an older session or something. As it mentions here, you know, on the left there, it shows a paragraph that was copied. So you could, I showed copying words, but you could do whole paragraphs as well within the clipboard. Because everything you copy is one clipboard item. So it could be a whole page. That's one clipboard item. Okay, you could copy a whole page. Control C it, it's copied. That's one item. If you had 24 pages that you copied one at a time, that's 24 items that could, you know, in essence, keep. Make sense? Yes.
If you copied it and it went into the clipboard, but then you edited your document, would it show the revision in the clipboard?
No. Nope. No, but if you did a Control Z, it would undo it for what you did have in the clipboard. Make sense? All right. So, paste option, most of you are familiar with. The Control V Nothing real fancy on that, or you need to know probably on that one. It does mention here that on the second bullet, to keep source formatting button, the keep source formatting button is selected by default. It keeps the original formatting of the item you are pasting. So basically, right here is a paste option. So let me show you something real quick. Let me go to the internet, and I'm going to go and copy some text here on Wikipedia. I'm going to copy this first paragraph on Chicago Dog. I'm going to copy, Control C it in Firefox here. I'm going to go to Word, go down. Now instead of Control V, what I'm going to do is actually come up here to the paste option and click the drop down. And notice it says here, keep source, merge formatting, or text only. Now as I highlight this, you can see what's going to happen if I click on it. Let me bring it down just a little bit more. So basically, if I was to copy it with the formatting source, or paste it with the formatting source, it would look like that. That's what it looked like on Firefox, right? Pretty much on that website. Notice this, the second one, merge formatting, looks exactly the same. These are pretty much all the same, these first two. Now the second one is text only. It still brings the text in, but with no hyperlinks and formatting. If you're, and this is actually really what I recommend if you're copying and pasting stuff in the text, the third option. Because if you paste it from the first two options here, it's sometimes hard to format because everything can be totally formatted differently, and usually is for the web. Well, if you do it text only, you have total control over that from scratch. Does that make sense? So you're not having to redo anything. You're just putting it in a text format. So if I was to recommend pasting, except for pictures, which I'll show you now how that's a real, I like doing this with pictures. I can right click on this picture on this page, copy it, go back and go to the paste option. Guess I didn't copy it right. Oh, I saw the highlight, that's why. Okay, copy image, that's what I wanted. Copy image, and you can do that on any web page. And let me show you the options here. There's with I think with images, all you have is the formatting source. You know, it doesn't give you the text only because there's no text with an image. But I like pasting images because you're not having to do what we did earlier of saving it to your desktop, then bringing it in and importing it, which you can do in Word. But you can do this right here. So if you find an image on the web you want to use in a document, you can do what I just did. Right click on that image, copy the image, go to Word, paste it, and it's in there. So that'll save you a little time, especially when you're doing flyers, newsletters, whatever it is. Even websites for your family. I know, how many has Facebook page? Like you put pictures of your family on there. You can make a nice whatever collage in Word using images from a Facebook page, somebody's profiles. And I've done this at Christmas time too. And you basically can bring it into Word, caption stuff under the pictures, but you're just copying and pasting the images from the source, which is the web page. And you're not having to right click download, right click download, right click download. You just right click copy and paste it right into. Now it also works for PowerPoint. For some of you taking PowerPoint, you can do that for PowerPoint as well. And so that's a nice feature. But again, with the difference between text and pictures copying, on text, it lets you copy and paste the format of that text and the text itself, or it lets you paste just the text only with no formatting, stripping it all together. And I do recommend, if you're copying something from the web, to paste the text only. That way you do have total control over formatting. Okay?
So it'll try to hold that format regardless of what the rest of your page has.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're trying to adjust it, it's going to try to hold that section to its own.
You're right. So if I did copy with or paste it with formatting from that web page, anything after that paragraph that I pasted would have the same formatting as that Firefox page, that web page. So And I might want that, but most likely I won't want that. So by pasting it as a text only, that's going to help you in the long run. Finding and replacing. This is a really powerful feature within Word. So let's do this real quick on your multi-page document here. I want you to find the word milk, which you should have in there. On the right side of your page is a find dialog. Click on the drop down. Click on the drop down to the right of find. Go to find, which looks like a little magnifying or binoculars. Type in the word milk. It doesn't have to be, it can be all lowercase like mine. You notice as you type it in, it highlights the word in the document, okay, as you type it in. So if I go back and get rid of the K, notice what it's doing on mine, bless you, on mine and yours. If I get rid of the L and it's just MI, it's just going to highlight M and I. So when you're finding words or a word or words, the find is very helpful to find those words. Because the next piece, you say, well, what's so powerful about finding something? It's the next piece, is being able to replace what you found. So say, for instance, you have part number A, B, C, D, E, F, G at your place of business, and it's in a document of 1,000 pages, and that part number is now changed to A, B, C, D, E, 1. From A, B, C, D, E, F, G to A, B, C, D, E, 1. And so you can find that first instance that's in the document and replace it with the new instance, what it should be with. So I can go ahead and do that, and you can practice it with me here. Notice down here to the right of the navigation type, I can go ahead and go to where it says replace, and then another dialog will come up. I don't want everybody to go ahead and type in milk, and you're going to replace it with cheese. Okay? So find milk, replace with cheese, and then go ahead and do a replace all. It says Word has completed its search of the document and has made one replacement. Click OK. And then close it. All right? So that's helpful, especially when you have multiple words that you're needing to replace. That's very helpful to do within a document, is a find and replace. As far as the back here, jumping ahead here. So find and replace is definitely helpful for multiple uses of finding and replacing words within a document. Already went over replacing text. Oh, one of the things I did want to mention is on the find and replace option. If I go to this find, there is on this drop down an advanced find. On the advanced find, you can actually match it by case, whole word, wildcard, sounds like, find all word forms, ignore punctuation characters, ignore white space. So if I wanted to match case, and I typed in, I'll type in cheese this time, and I'll leave lowercase c, okay? If I try to go ahead and click that now, it says it wasn't found.
I didn't get it, mine didn't switch from,
Do I know?
mine didn't switch from milk to cheese.
Yours didn't swap from milk to cheese?
Go to replace all.
Yeah. So if everybody goes to that drop down to the right of that and then goes to options, advanced find, does everybody see where you can match the items? Now I'm going to go ahead and do the cheese with the cap C like it's spelled here. And I want to go and do a find next. And there you go, I highlighted it. Okay.
My screen didn't come up like that when I.
Okay, I'll start over again. Very right of Word on the Home tab. Go to Find.
Okay, that.
Then to the right of the navigation here, where my mouse is, click on the drop down, go to Advanced Find.
Okay.
Got that?
Yeah,
Got it,
got it.
And that's where you see all the options for searching. Now the other thing is find whole words only, meaning it's only going to find whole words. So if it said cheese maker, that wouldn't work. If cheese maker was in the word or in the text, it would only find cheese only, not cheese maker.
I think by default, mine was showing, I had to click the more for the drop down for your lower menu.
Oh, maybe.
I get the find and replace.
No,
Now hit
it's
the-
not
hit the
gonna
more
be-
button.
you're in
Is
the
there more
advanced
buttons?
find.
Hit that.
Yeah, let me
Oh,
You're already in the
okay.
option.
let me just come around to see that you guys can see this, because you do need to click the more button as I did earlier, which I've already went on from that. So I'll go ahead and see. Make sure you can see this screen. Keep that up. Those of you that couldn't find it earlier, so I can make sure you know how to find it. Okay.
Then click on
Yeah,
that.
it is kind of buried a little bit. Now, one of the features I do like and I don't like in 2007, 2010 is this feature here. In prior versions of 2003, it made it a little easier actually to find and replace stuff. But once you learn how to do it, fairly simple to remember once you do it once.
Is there a way to change that default so it's always expanded?
Yeah, well, if I go back here now and go to Advanced Find, everything's like it was before. So whatever it was the last time you used it, it's going to stay that way. So, and that's good too, because normally in your job, whatever it is you do or whatever paper you're typing, you tend to use the same functions throughout the application. And most people, like this is a Word class, most users only use like 9% of the tools within Word. That's it, 9%. That's average. Not to say some of you might get more advanced in certain areas over a period of time or for some project, but everyday use, day in and day out use, for the life cycle of an application, Word application, it goes the same with PowerPoint and Excel, 9% of the tools are used. The other 91% are not used.
So are you teaching us 100% or 9%?
I'm teaching you the most useful that I use all the time. If that makes sense. Which probably, yeah, the 9% could be very powerful tools, but you're not going to be using all of them. So, yeah, I try to teach you guys what I use that I use every day. So, hopefully it helps. Okay. Replace all, went over that. Pretty simple. Once you find the screen, the one you want to mention or make mention is that more button. Is hard to kind of, that first time, if you don't see it, it doesn't say anything, like a pop-up doesn't say, oh, by the way, click this more button to see more options. It just says more. Okay, more what? Okay, but now you know what more is. So, you know, it might be better in my mind to say more options, but the reasoning for it is, you'll notice underneath less here, it says search options. So that's why they didn't put more search options, less search options, but I think they should have. But anyway, that's me. Okay, spelling and grammar. We talked a little bit last week about this, how sometimes Word spells things right. You know, grammar checks things correctly, but like my last name or your last name, it catches. And that's where you can right-click on that word and add it to your custom dictionary. And remember, once you add it to custom dictionary, then it's in that system. You don't have to do it again, right? You can also ignore misspelled words as well when it goes to a spell check. So basically, to spell check, you just move your insertion point to where you want the spell check to begin. You'll go to the Review tab, ribbon, and then Proofing Group, and then Spelling and Grammar button. And then if it finds any type of grammatical errors, it's going to highlight those in green. Possible spelling errors in red. You review those. It will give you suggestions for some of them, maybe not all of them, but some of them. To accept a suggested correction, you click on it and change it. So let's go and go to our document real quick. And I'm going to start at the beginning of grocery list, go to my Review tab, and I want to go to the very top left where it says spelling and grammar check, or you can do an F7 key on your keyboard. I'm going to click on that. And now it says everything's spelled correctly. But let's misspell something on purpose. I'm going to put 3 E's in cheese. All right. and I'm gonna put my cursor before the G in grocery. Let's do that again. Notice it found the misspelling cheese there. It gives me a suggestion. Now, right here, I'm gonna stop for a second. What if my product is spelled that way? Okay, what can I do for this not to happen again? Right on this form. I can add it to dictionary right now. I can add it to dictionary, and it will not prompt me again as a misspelled word. Okay, it will not prompt me again. I can also ignore it, ignore all, ignore once, and so a lot of different options it lets me do. Now, let me just talk about options. Hopefully, you haven't clicked cancel or anything on the screen. On the bottom left, see where it says options? Go ahead and click on that for me. The options tab here, by the way, you stay where you're at. I'm going to show you how to get to it another way too. If you go to the file menu in Word, and I'm going to go down here over to the options area. File options brings up the same area. But I want to specifically go to, you guys should be in proofing, right? Proofing? Okay. You see where it says custom dictionaries? I told you I was going to talk about this week. Click on custom dictionaries. This is something I've used a lot. Now, you'll notice in custom dictionaries right now, there should be one dictionary in there, custom.dic. Okay? We're going to create a new one. Go ahead and click the button that says new. All right? And what I want you to do is, see where it says asterisk.dic? In place of asterisk, type in your last name. Type in your last name, so it should be lastname.dic. Then click save. Then you'll see two dictionaries in here, okay? Highlight that new dictionary you just created and click on edit word list. Right now there's no words in here, okay? We're gonna make some fictitious words. The first one we're gonna make is cheese with 3 E's. Okay, I'm going to CHEEESE, then add it. The second word we're going to type in is TORUPE. 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 It would normally be misspelled in a spell check. TORUPE. We'll say it's a product of some type or a sandwich or something we make. All right, so Torupe. I'm going to add that. So we can keep doing this, keep adding custom words to our dictionary that we use all the time within our company. Normally it's going to be patented names that aren't found in a regular dictionary, product names, item names on a menu possibly. So you can see where that goes on. You can just add, keep adding, keep adding, keep adding. And you click OK. You'll notice right now the custom dictionary is default. You can keep it as such. Even though it's default, it still will use the words here that we've added, Torupe, T-O-R-U-P-E. So I'm going to go and click OK again. Click OK again. Cancel. Notice my cheese is gone now. The underline and cheeses that I had in there is no longer there. And then T-O-R-U-P-E was the other one that I put in as a custom word. Notice it's not misspelled or showing up as being misspelled. So cheese is now no longer underlined. Torupe that I added, I believe is the new custom word, is not underlined. So again, if everybody can do this real quick, click on the file menu, go to options, proofing, and then custom dictionaries is where we just did all that. Okay, file, option, custom dictionaries. Now I think I mentioned last week, notice the path of both of these is a local C path on your computer. This could actually be a path on a network drive as well. And if it was on a network drive, then everybody in your company could have access to that custom dictionary. And one person in here or a group of people in a marketing or whatever, that's generally people over this, do they put like the little patents, the register, you know, all the little custom trademarks or whatever on there, would be over that list. And so you don't have to maintain it. One company, one division or person in the division keeps it up. Does that make sense? So IT would just have to come around and make sure that custom dictionary is added in everybody's Word instance. Yes?
Does it stay on the computer, so next person that comes in after me and uses this computer, and they spell cheese with 3 letters?
Yes, it does. It's per computer, per PC, not per
So if they
user.
spell cheese wrong, then it's already in the dictionary and it's, right, like if the next person after you to use it.
Yeah, the way it's set up, the way it would need to be set up by IT is you would set up the Word dictionary to be used for all users on that computer. So yeah, it's a good question though.
These ones here reset or whatever. don't they?
Yeah,
Something
these computers do
so it's-
reset and they're local to you only, so,
So
but
everything
in,
we save on our desktop then, can we leave there because it's only local to us?
you can. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't want like
I know
a
you
social
would have
security
this
number,
key
bank
stuff.
accounts.
No, but I know, yeah, no, but I know you've been having us save stuff to like my documents.
No,
Which
once
the
you're through with your
desktop-
stuff tonight and every Wednesday we meet here, you know, the only thing I ask you to do is, and if you've forgotten in the past, don't worry about it, because I check before I leave, is just to shut your computer down, because once you shut your computer down, it wipes everything out that you've done, so.
Oh,
The
okay.
danger of that is, say you leave the room, come back and go, hey, can I get that file that's on my computer? Well, if you shut it down, you can't get that file, so.
Okay.
Do make sure you do get that file before you leave, if you want to get those files.
So this doesn't hold the information per our user, so I log in next week.
Oh, yeah, they have deep freeze on these, so yeah, it wipes out each time, which is good for educational things, but for work, it would not be good. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it would not
Be
be
doing
good.
the same stuff every week.
Exactly. So let's go back. We're almost done here. I want to, one more slide, one more couple slides here on some items here. Spelling grammar check. I want to end with styling, formatting. We'll end on that. If you go ahead and highlight what we've got in there right now, the grocery list of 3 or 4 items, we're going to go to the Home tab, and I want you to click on the drop down for styles. Again, home, highlight everything. You can either swipe it with a mouse. Anybody remember the other way to highlight everything? What's the command for that?
Control A.
Very good. Control A will highlight everything. I'm going to go to the drop down on styles. And now I want you to select whatever style you want to. One thing you'll notice though, some of the styles you select will get rid of the bullets. Some of them won't, but some of them will. Okay? It just depends on the font style that's chosen on that. So you can keep a style that keeps the bullets or not, or just hover over all of these. If you hover over all of these just to see what's available, and then go away and don't click on anything, you're back to where you were before. Okay, you might want to just do that. I don't really like styles personally. I don't, because it doesn't give me any control. I want to have control over the whole document. And so I always tell students, do not use styles when you first start using Word, because you can become accustomed to wanting to use it all the time. So don't use it when you're learning Word. Not to say you can't experiment later and know that they are there, but it really kind of makes you lazy when it comes to creating a document, and really doesn't put any creativity or any type of whatever into your, any type of work really into your document. And also, not only laziness, to me, it just doesn't look good. I don't like it. I don't like any of the styles at all. I never have liked them, but they're there. I'm guessing it'd be used for some things, little things maybe, but I haven't found much use for it personally. So I kind of tell students to stay away from it. Now, one of the things I have done though is, say I have something I've done here. Say I've bolded this, made some. I'll let you guys go ahead and maybe bold grocery list. Make the color a different color. Make the font style different than Calibri. Okay, so I'm going to highlight that, right, what I've just done. Okay, I'm going to go up here to the styles, and I'm going to save selection as a new quick style. And I'm going to put in here my style. Or let me just go and back it up. I'm going to do the Chicago dog style. All right. Click OK. Well, see, even when you do that, it messes it up. Because it applies some of the formatting that Word thinks it should have in there. So that doesn't even work. So that's why I never use it. Because I thought when I first saw this when it came out, I thought, hey, I can save a custom selection as a new style. No, that might work. And then when I went and did it, it just did what I just showed you. It totally wipes it out. It doesn't do that. Okay? So I would steer away from that. Okay. Let's go and do this. You can close out of that document altogether. I'm going to go back to Eagle real quick. But while you're going there, I'm going to kind of give you some instructions here for your in-class and your take-home this week. Remember that things are due for this week, next Wednesday. What threw me a loop this week was you knew we weren't here Monday, Tuesday, right? But Tuesday I had a big session with faculty on training them. And it pretty much took up all my time Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So I apologize I didn't give you guys emails this week. And so I'm just kind of working on a little sleep right now. But it was good. It was a good session, though. It was a good time yesterday. We had good sessions. So it was definitely well worth it. We only do it once a semester, so it was nice. So I apologize for not communicating like I normally do through the week. Okay, so in-class exercise, let's go ahead and open that up, and I'll run you through it. You're going to right-click and download this file here where it says this file to desktop. Let me just show you what to do, and then you guys can run at it here in a second. I'm going to right-click, save link as, go to my desktop. Then it says here to follow the instructions on this document. You can open it up that way, or if you want, I think if you right click on this and open it in a new window, might be a little bit more room. Okay, so you follow the instructions there. This Word 2010 document it talks about here on number 3, that's the one that you actually downloaded onto the desktop. So let me just show you that real quick. So you've read number 1, read number 2, read number 3. I'll pretend you've read it. Go to File, Open. I'm going to go to my desktop, and there is that Word 2010 document. And what can I use to toggle back and forth between this to make it easier? Alt-Tab. Yeah, I'm going to do Alt-Tab back and forth. So basically on this one, I'm opening a Word document. It's the Word 2010 one. Basically, this exercise, just so you know, is more doing than, you're not really typing anything new in here. Talks about moving around a document. It does show you some things in here we did not go over in the exercise tonight on PowerPoint, but just follow the instructions, do what it tells you to do. Exercise 3, you're using the mouse wheel to move around the document. Exercise 4, you're zooming in and out. We've done a little bit of that already. Exercise 5, you're moving around with a keyboard. This is old school here. This is what I used to do all the time before the mouse came around. And so these keys still are, I use these, the home key and the end key, and all those are still used. Inserting, deleting text on exercise 6. Now on exercise, inserting, deleting text, you're inserting, deleting very little text on that one. Selecting text on exercise 7. Exercise 8, you're selecting text using a keyboard. Exercise 9, moving text using cut and paste, which we did tonight. Exercise 10, moving text using copy and paste. Exercise 11, dragging and dropping. Exercise 12, using the reading layout view to view a document, multi-page document. Then I like this one. Out of the whole exercise, it's really good, but I like this page because it gives you the shortcuts we've been talking about so far. This, you might, I don't know, if you wanted to print this out, this at home, this would be a beneficial page maybe, or put it on your PDA or your phone and email it to yourself, something like that. And that's a good one. So the way you're going to end it is the changes you have made throughout the exercise, just save those changes, and then basically upload those to the Dropbox as always, and then you're done with the in-class, okay? Now, if it does ask you to print throughout, as always, don't do it. So complete the document when you're done. Let's talk about your take-home. It's Word Project 2.1, creating a flyer. You're going to create a new document, enter the text, follow the example of what to save it as and what to do with it. When you're done, save your changes. I think I have a source file example at the bottom of this one as well. Yeah. Okay. The formatting on mine's compatibility mode, so it's going to look a little different. So anyway, that's basically this one on showing you how to do formats, centering, text, italicizing text, things of that nature. And that's the creating a flyer. Okay? Once you're finished with that one, you will submit it below as always. So you have the in-class tonight. When you're done with that, you can go if you're finished. When you're finished. Everything is due, tutorial 2 and the Dropbox Word 2.1 by next Wednesday. Any questions before you get started on your in-class? All right, I'll kind of walk around and help as needed.